Good evening and welcome to the City of Charlestown Redevelopment Commission meeting for November 8th, 2023. If everyone would please rise as we begin with the singing of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Determine if there's a quorum. Anita Pate.
Here.
Bobby Brooks.
Here.
John Spencer.
Here.
BJ Still is not present. And Derek Combs is present. You're provided with a copy of the minutes from the October 3rd, 2023 regular meeting. I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I make that motion.
I'll second that.
Are there any questions? Ask for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to, we've got 3 presentations tonight. First one is with 500 Pike Street. Whitney Matthews, we asked for her to come up and do a presentation.
And those are all for facade grant
Facade grants.
requests. All of these are.
Can I ask that Steve come up with me? Is that
Yes,
okay?
that's fine.
Sorry.
No, you gotta be kidding. Go ahead, come on.
I had him listed on the
So
agenda
I
and
do
then crossed it out.
business and then he does the construction piece of it. He's gonna be able to tell you exactly in detail what that fencing is going to cover. So, my name is Whitney Matthews. I'm the Director of Operations for Superior Vault Company. On behalf of Superior Vault Company, we just want to say thank you to the council for giving us the opportunity to present this to you and potentially be awarded this grant. This is Steve Leach. He is owner and CEO of L&L Management and Superior Vault Company. So Superior Vault, 500 Pike Street. Superior Vault has been established at 500 Pike for over 20 years in business. The facility, if you have not been past it, has undergone a lot of just kind of facility upgrades. This grant is going to be used, if we are awarded this, towards another facility upgrade, which is upgrading our fencing around the facility. Now that we have the new exit station to Hux, yep. So what we're looking to do is just kind of beef up what the facility security and safety is. Also, with adding this to the company, we're trying to kind of align everything else that we're doing as far as, construction and refacing the building to similar to what other Charlestown projects and businesses are doing to kind of just, bring forth the value of our establishments here in Charleston.
Well, I appreciate what you've already done, because you've already done out of the facade on the front of the building.
Yep.
I saw you working on it. I drive by there every day, so I see it.
Yep.
So,
That's your question.
Pictures.
Yeah,
no, you're doing great.
Yeah, and if you do drive past the facility, that is just one of many things that, we have undergoing right now as far as projects go to bring up just the quality of aesthetics of the facility.
And we also have a great working relationship with Hux and the actual owners. They've become friends of ours. So we have plans with those guys of doing some landscaping
It makes a big difference when you.
along our new fence. If you see along our new fence, you're gonna see arborvitae and you're gonna see, and when we finish phase 1 of 350 phases we've got planned, we're gonna go on down towards Big G with the new fence, new paving to be put in. Hopefully, we want to get it this fall. We're just not gonna beat the weather, so hopefully by this time next year it'll all be repaved. The old fence will be completely taken down, and will match what we have done up to the Hux property with the landscaping. At the end of the day, we are a concrete plant, and it's not the cleanest, but we got plans to
Do your best, right?
to do our best and maintain it. That's the key, because it had been let go for some time.
Yeah.
We got drainage work we're doing and some things there. So.
And our facility and buildings, they're still in good use, of course. But, it's just something, like Steve said, that needs to be done. And we're trying to add to the value of what we can bring here to Charlestown and, doing upgrades such as painting the building, refacing the front of our admin offices, redoing the fencing, adding different mobile buildings to add businesses here in Charlestown. That's just something that's kind of our goal is, you know, a management business.
So, obviously, John knows us, Trina knows us, and a few back here know us, but we came from Madison, Indiana. I still own a business in Madison, in the funeral business as well. So we've got 23 years in. We've done the same thing with our properties in Madison to enhance the surroundings. It's a humbling experience to own a piece of property in the gateway of Charlestown. And we want to enhance that to the most of its potential.
Sure.
I've got a flagpole ordered, one of the great big ones, and so we're excited.
Coil
Yeah.
Chevrolet big?
Do I?
Is it Coil Chevrolet big?
If Steve's
I saw
involved,
the-
it
I saw
can
the
be,
dog.
so
It's
don't give
Coil-
us any,
it's-
don't give us any
It's
ideas.
Royal Chevrolet bid. It is big. So now we need
Yeah.
replacement of it, right? So we'll
Yeah.
figure out the best. I don't want to put it up yet until we get,
Sure.
so.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the grant, but I do call for discussion, because I want to talk about it a little bit.
All right,
I make that motion.
we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Well, the only discussion I wanted to say was that I do realize this is a little bit of a different of a project, because we're doing fencing, and that's not, a lot of people don't think of that as a facade, part of the facade, but in light of what you just explained, it's the gateway to Charlestown, and we've done the Big G project, and that made a big difference, and this is gonna make a big difference, and as people drive down 62, the better we can make it look,
Absolutely.
it's gonna enhance our value overall, so I think that while this might be a little bit different than what we've done, I wholeheartedly support it and think it's.
Well, and if it helps any at all, we have put about $20,000
Yeah.
of paint on that monster. The
Yes.
structure up to then, we're not even close to being done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We have to finish the front of the building, so that's gonna, you know, go into construction. Once we get that finished, we're gonna add awning, entrance, more landscaping to the front. We have business plans too for the develop more business in that area. So really what we're trying to do is really improve the quality, not just the aesthetics, but the quality of our property, you know, to add to all
And it
of
does nothing but improve the value, which if you ever do have to turn it over for some reason, I want to.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
only
I mean,
be
you can
good.
think about it in a residential standpoint, right? If you
Right.
fence in your yard, how much is your home
Yeah,
value
that's right.
raised?
And
right?
hopefully, here in the near future, you're gonna see a lot of solar panels on our roofs. We'll be,
Yes.
Oh, there you
we'll
go.
be a green
Yes.
company, which is, will bode well for
Yes.
the community here as well. So we're excited. We've got that in, which is
Yeah,
very
we're-
expensive.
We're in the running for a really large grant for that, so,
That's
and
my
we're
favorite.
working with 820, so.
I was gonna ask you if they were
Yep.
involved, I figured they were, because I know you were part of them.
So maybe
Yeah.
that will help set us, you know,
Such a
a
part of
precedence with, here
Yeah,
with other
that's
businesses
right.
coming in.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that we can help.
So guys, I'll shut up, if you guys have any questions, I've been dominating the conversation, I apologize.
Is there any further discussion? No further discussion, I'll ask for a vote to approve.
Aye.
Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Thank
passes.
you, guys.
Hey, thanks for a great presentation,
Thank
You guys have an open invitation to come down and visit, because, you know, most people that live here their whole life doesn't know what goes on.
I expect bourbon and sandwiches when I come down.
We will,
okay?
I've got it.
All right, all right.
Just for
Always
you,
open,
John.
but if you could call the office and let me know first, that would be great.
Okay.
Just pop in.
Thank you, guys, appreciate you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Our next facade presentation for this evening is Charlestown Cemetery Association. Is there a representative? Neil, is there going to be someone here?
I thought so.
Who's their spokesperson? No, Chris, is he still a spokesperson? I mean, I know that's who you, is he? You can go to, she can go to the next one, right? She's gonna call.
Okay.
If you wanna.
Yeah, we can move on to the next one then if you want and come back to that.
Moving on to the facade presentation from Hillside Charlestown LLC. Todd Paxton, would you please come forward and present?
Second shady character tonight.
What's that?
Second shady character tonight.
I hear you, I hear you. Todd Paxton, member of Hillside Seatown LLC. We just acquired the 24 apartments, right, I believe it's 601, 609 Spring Street and 330 Main Street, right adjacent across the creek from the dog park, the two-story townhomes, And then right up from the basketball court in Greenway Park, the 2 buildings that are adjacent to the police station. Buildings were built in 1970. I believe you have everything. Perfect, thank you. Buildings were built in 1970. The family had owned those for quite a while. We just acquired those here over the last few weeks, and being right in the city center, being from Charlestown since freshman year of high school, like I want to help take care of those and improve those. We've done a value add turnover project in Jeffersonville of 36 properties in similar fashion and manner. At this point, we feel equipped to handle a project of this magnitude as well. Our plans, our intentions are immediately soffit, trim work, exterior vinyl trim, gutters, downspouts. There are, on the townhomes, I believe 4 covered front porches that have posts. We're going to remove those posts. We're going to re-wrap new posts, wrap everything in vinyl, make it nice and seal-tight, weatherproof. Then on the foundations of the brick 2 buildings on Main Street, we'll have those painted. So then all new windows, there are exactly 100 windows to replace. And that doesn't include the ones that are in the showers that we'll remove once we remodel the interior. Eventually next year, we would like to put new roofs on everything. There's some age left on the roofs. There are 8 balconies. We want to go ahead and remove those for safety reasons. There were some very overgrown trees that we went ahead and had removed, mainly for safety reasons. Those limbs, anytime you pull into the parking spot, you can see the trees there on the top right-hand corner. Anytime you pulled into that parking spot, you would run over limbs larger than an average man's leg. So that was a safety hazard that we felt needed immediate attention, and that is in the package as well. But immediately, gutters, downspouts, trims, windows, and tree and landscape removal. We have already spent money on roach infestation removal.
And then do bed bugs, just roads, right?
So far that we know, along with that, I think there's about 8 residents that have since moved out, and that's also helped the bug infestation situation. So I believe that covers most of it in your package as well. Open to questions.
Would you mind telling them a little bit, I had the opportunity to talk to Todd already. Would you mind telling them what you plan to do in the interior?
Interior,
too,
absolutely.
just so that they have a full picture of what you're doing.
So there's a mixed, there are 2, just to paint a picture here, 2 one-bedroom apartments. The other 22 are 2-bedroom apartments. The owners pay an assortment of the utilities. When we acquired these, the average rent was around $600 a month. You get what you pay for in the fair market value, and inside, we have already started increasing the average rent rate, which along with that includes remodeling. So inside, we have slated to, literally take down the drywall if we need to. New kitchens, new bathrooms, new flooring, new paint, new lighting. So extensive interior remodels are definitely on the books. We had to borrow a lot of extra money on a line of credit to get that and slated for improvements as time passes.
Yeah, thanks for that expansion. It's good. Thanks for that motion.
Todd, do you have any renderings of what they may look like once the exteriors are complete to show us?
If I could have a program recommendation to do that, I definitely would. That's not something in my wheelhouse. I'm not the most tech savvy guy.
Do you know Barry? You know Barry Early?
Of course, yeah, very, very good.
Talk to him. He could probably do it for you.
I'd be happy to do that. Absolutely.
It's just a suggestion. I just think.
Yeah, Barry's here in town, isn't he?
Yeah, he's right on well.
Don't have anything like that, but white soffits, white downspouts. We're going to keep the theme of white, probably a gray or a darker gray roof line. Then on the foundations of the 601 and 601, they're going to be painted white right there. You can't really see much of the foundations on those. Those will be painted white and crisp, much like the adjoining property, the neighboring, I think it's an 8-plex that is owned by National Builders, kind of mirror what they have in the club.
So you're not painting the red brick? You're not painting the red brick?
Not painting the brick, no, sir. I'm anti-paint brick, but that's just my 2 cents. The foundation under it, it was painted red to kind of match the brick. What we're gonna do is clean that up, pressure wash, and paint it nice white.
Did you say you're not putting the decks back? You're gonna remove the decks, not making
We're gonna, once we get in there, we'll have a better idea, the balconies, you mean?
yeah, the balcony.
Once we get in there, we'll have a better idea, but I don't think you and I would stand up there and feel too comfortable together, so I don't want too many people up there, if that makes sense. There, you know, again, 53 years ago, those decks were built, and I've visually inspected them from underneath, and I've seen some boards that I wasn't too comfortable with, so. As the schedule allows, I want to get those remodeled on the outside as well. The intention's there, take the balconies off. The entrance is from Main Street, so you don't need that balcony access technically. So the intention's there, wall that in, put another window in. So inside, it'll just look like a wall with a window. And then on the outside, it'll just look, it'll have white vinyl siding with a window. So it'll be all nice and sealed up nicely. And then where the deck boards come out, because they're cantilevered out, as best we can tell, they come out from the inside of the brick. What we plan on doing is taking a new board and putting it over that, and then wrapping that with vinyl siding to seal it all in. Those are the planned intentions.
Well, I make a motion that we table this project, and if I get a second, I'll explain why I'm making that motion.
We have a motion to table, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Well, I want to explain so Todd will understand.
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a whole different kind of project than we've undertaken
Yes, sir.
as a redevelopment commission. So I think we need a little time to investigate it further, because it will present some challenges for us, I think, going forward. So I'm going to ask Jill to do a little research for us
Sure.
in the interim, and maybe we can even have an executive session if that's amenable to everybody else, and that way we can have a good discussion about it. And but this is in no way, don't misinterpret what I'm suggesting, because it looks like a very promising project. It looks like it would make a big difference. So I just think we need that time to investigate a little further. So that's why I moved that way.
I agree, John.
Definitely understand. Thank you all for your consideration. Not born here, but raised here. Graduated here in '94. We've all known this property for quite some time, and with everything happening right there in City Center, I think it'll be a nice benefit to have that property improved as well. So thank you all for consideration.
And thank you for your presentation. I appreciate it, Todd.
You're welcome.
So I guess we never let you. So
Oh,
I'm
we need to vote now. Now you need to vote.
So we'll vote to table this for further discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you.
Yes, he said, when I talked to him, he was about 15 minutes out, so if
Okay.
we kind of go through the other parts
Sure.
of the agenda, he'll be here.
All right,
Okay.
great.
Moving on to claims, we were provided with a copy of the claims from our October. There's a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, are there any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there anyone signed up for public comment?
I don't think so.
I'll ask Jill to give us a consultant report from the Wheatley Group.
Thank you. You all received my report. I'll just go over a couple of the highlights, and then if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. We have some news on the Charlestown Flats, the proposed multifamily project that will be located off of Pike Street on the opposite side of Huck's. So I believe it is either this week or next week that IHCDA is going to announce their tax credits. Again, this was one that did not get tax credits. They also were awarded READY funds through READY 1.0 to pair with their tax credits. Those READY funds had to be committed. The city got to take advantage of that and is using some of that money, or all of that money that was committed to that, on the wastewater plant. So the city didn't lose out on that investment, which is great. We also, they're waiting on, they submitted for redevelopment tax credits to replace the ready. That was one of the caveats that the IEDC and the RDA gave them, is if you apply for tax credits or ready in the future, then they would take that under consideration. So they are waiting on their actual agreement for their redevelopment tax credits from IEDC. So if they get their tax credits from IHCDA and get their redevelopment tax credits from IEDC, then they should be able to close, they hope to close by the end of the year. But it still hinges on the award of the IHCDA tax credits. So that is some movement on that project. Springville Manor, each of the property owners that we reached out to have responded. Talked to Derek and also to Jake Bisson, Frost Ground Todd. They've been given some more time to move forward with some of the actions that they need to take to be in compliance. So that's where we're at with that. If you have any more specific questions, I'll direct that at Jake since he's here. And then potential property acquisitions that we discussed. One we're going to discuss later in the agenda. The other area, we are still in negotiations or some discussion about the other parcel. So, and then some good news, I think, is that we received some additional guidance related to what I've been talking to you about and would have presented to you, some type of budget or expenses, revenue report that would need to be submitted to the state. The guidance has come down that is not going to be required for this year, for 24, but in 24, at some point in 24, they're going to lay out some parameters and actually have a portal possibly where we could upload the information, which doesn't exist right now. So that will probably be due in 24 and by December 1st of 24 for 25.
So did they suggest that the portal will be different than like the DLGF portal? I mean,
There's no avenue to submit this type of report through DLGF right now. It was my understanding that the General Assembly passed this with possibly no discussion with DLGF and how that could actually be done.
There you go. That's
So,
legislation in action.
That's
right
my
there.
understanding, it could be wrong, but so since then, it's been discussed that maybe they will decide, have that ready then for next year.
Thank you.
So if anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer any chat or on any of the other projects that I didn't specifically mention.
We appreciate these summaries. They make it really helpful, don't they? We can look over this before we get in there, so we don't have to.
And I have a question for the mayor on the depot. I drove past that at Family Activity Park. Is that almost ready? It looked good.
Yeah, it's, the turf, the concrete, everything is in. DCE came and did the landscaping, so there's sod, that really made a big change. This past week, our crews installed the lighting, the decorative lighting, I think, and then the furniture is all in. So all that's left to do at this point will be to string the decorative lighting that goes across the top, the string lights. They have some Christmas trees to put up down there because they're going to keep it relatively light since it's a soft opening. But they've been talking to the Pirate Perks coffee shop that opened at the high school for the special needs class that is providing that, and they're actually going to provide their own blend of coffee for
Cool.
the depot so that we can buy from them
Yeah.
instead of buying
From
somewhere
a
else.
restaurant or somewhere else.
Keep, kind of give them more business, right, and serve their coffee there. And we're going to keep it a relatively light menu and just do a soft opening for the Christmas season, not charge any admission yet, just to get people in the space, get feedback from the teams about what they like. WPMQ, the radio station, came over. They shot a little video of the updates right before the sod went in. We had to kick them out because they wanted to keep playing with foosball tables and everything that's over there, and said, no, you have to go back to class. So they still seem really excited about the space, but it's coming together, and it will open. It will be open for the first time as a soft opening the same night as Light Up, which is the 24th. So that Friday after Thanksgiving, it will be open along with all the facility. So, and then we'll do a big ribbon cutting in the springtime.
I thought it looked nice.
Yeah, it does. It
thought we
looks
should
really
talk about
nice.
that.
So those claims we approved today? Were those the last furniture claims as far as you know?
Should
I don't
be.
care if they are, not just
She,
curious.
I think they ordered some, I don't know if they made it onto this claim.
Okay.
Carrie's been tracking the budget, and I will say this, as, right before those last furniture purchases, and the last furniture purchases that came in were for storage units for the cushions, because every time the wind blows, the cushions fly, so at the end of every night, they're gonna store the cushions away. So they did some of that, and I think she ordered that this week, so I don't know if they made it
Okay.
on this round
I
of
just-
claims.
that's-
But I will give her credit, right now, the project was coming in at about 9,000 under
Great.
the original budget. So she's been very cautious about, you know, and careful about what she's ordering. I think once they outfit the full smoothie bar and coffee bar, it'll probably get closer, but she's determined to have a little bit of cost savings for each.
Thank you for giving us that update, because you've been doing a lot of projects, and you can see pieces and parts, but I don't know that you've ever been able to see a completed project yet, so.
That's a great point, yeah, that's exciting.
It's really great. And Bill Price is great.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to be here.
Are you through with your?
Yeah, I'm finished with my report unless anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Joe, for the report. We're gonna ask Bill Grace to come forward and give a presentation on the facade grant for the Charlestown Cemetery Association.
Thank you, Phil. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to be here. I turned everything in and now I'm gonna have to go back through this real quick here. You all have a copy of that?
They do, so you just,
Yeah.
if you want to just for a few minutes tell them what you plan to do, then
Yeah,
that's all
the
they need.
The holding building up in the cemetery has been there since 1825 or in that range. And it was, most people don't even know what it was for. It was to put bodies in during the winter time when the ground was too frozen to be dug by hand. They didn't have machinery back then. And that building was for that purpose. Most people don't know that.
Somebody told me that the other day, and I was completely surprised. I thought it was like a miniature mausoleum or something like that for some dignitary.
And it's not used for anything there now, except it's a backdrop. It's there's an old fuel oil tank in there. But we were presented by the guy that does the mowing, and he says that building's gonna need a lot of repairs or be torn down. And in my opinion, and the opinion of all the people that were at that meeting, we really ought to keep that building if we can. It's gonna cost money to tear it down. If we can fix it up, and you can see from the pictures there, that that's a brick structure underneath the roof that you see there. That's brick, solid brick, I mean, all the way over the whole thing. And it's been a backdrop for everything that, the meetings are held up there, like for the American Legion and the Veterans Day and things like that. Yeah, it's been a backdrop for that, and we just thought it would be saved. And the cemetery does not have, we've got the funds to get it done, but that's earmarked for maintenance of graves, for people with some graves in. So we actually, and I was just looking through a paper that I had here the other day, that, like for 10 years, we had spent everything we took in, just about, we had 2 or 3 major projects in there, but we just don't have the extra money to do it. And we're trying to raise money. We're getting grants. We've got some donations, I understand. We've got some already come in, So, and we just like to apply for a grant if there's a grant available.
And you also, was there something else besides the building? Was there
Flagpole?
a flagpole? Yes.
Yeah, there are 3 flagpoles there. One of them is definitely gotta be replaced. It's an old iron pipe that's put in there back, maybe at the same time the building was, I don't know. And the fact that Jonathan Jennings' grave is in the one picture you all see there, was up there a little bit ago. Jonathan Jennings' grave site, first gutter of Indiana, right there it is. It's right nearby that. And that's just the backdrop for everything that happens there, the community events. And I just can't imagine a place without that building. So we're trying to raise the money. We got a grant we just missed, but we're gonna get it financed and get them done. So get it on down the road. We'll get it somehow, with funds. People wanna see it saved.
This will be nice when it's completed, Bill.
Yeah, yes. And we'd like to go ahead and get that done, but we're gonna go ahead and get it. I've already got all these prices in, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the work so that we get, if the winter weather comes in on that thing, and it freezes and thaws, it could, that brick fall and the roof fall in, it'd be a major project then.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
presentation, Bill.
Any questions? You guys want
We'll ask if there's a motion to approve.
The only question I have is, I see one of the invoices, they quoted you on expires, tomorrow.
Now, I talked to them about that.
Okay,
They said,
all right.
Don't worry about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure they weren't gonna raise up on you or anything.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll make a second.
Is there any further questions?
Just a little discussion. I realize, again, this is something really completely different than we've embraced before, but I've known Bill and the Cemetery Association for a long time. I know we used to try to give them a little help through our annual Kiwanis Day project, and that's been harder to get personnel and people to help. We wouldn't have helped with that specific thing, but I know how hard these guys work and how they want to keep that cemetery looking good. I remember, you guys probably do too, the bicentennial celebration. I think we had the governor here, right? And I think we had part of it down there.
What was that, John?
The bicentennial celebration back in 2008.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we had the event down there.
governor.
Yeah, the governor was
The
there.
ex-vice president was there, him and his
Yeah.
wife, that's where I met them.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just to provide some credence to how hard they worked to make that place, keep it up and to make it a nice place for the city. So I think that even though, again, this is an unusual, something different than we've done, I agree that it's something that needs to be done.
All right, I'll ask for a vote to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, Bill.
I'm headed there then.
All right, moving on to new business. Is there any new discussion that we would like to talk about tonight? Anybody wants to discuss?
We've got to go to old business. I think you just skipped
Oh,
over
I'm
old
sorry.
business. Sorry.
Yep, I'm sorry.
You're ready to leave, I'm sure.
Yep. Old
This is
business.
important.
We have
Is
a
there a letter
resolution.
of intent?
We have a resolution to consider tonight, that's 2023 R5. It's the purchase of the property at 501 Main Street, it's H&R
Current
Block.
H&R Block building.
H&R
Yeah,
Block.
501 Market Street, current H&R Block. Jake's ready.
Yeah, so we have negotiated a non-binding letter of intent with the current owner of the property. And we've circulated to them the purchase agreement that was included in your packet, and it's an exhibit to the resolution tonight. So brief synopsis of the terms. So the purchase price is $215,000. We would have a 60-day due diligence period to do any title work, any environmental work that we would like to do to investigate the property. We would be able to get a refund of our earnest money, which would be $2,500 if we were to terminate before the end of that period for any reasons that we would find in our investigation of the property. In the event that those were to drag on a little bit or we needed some extra time, we do have one option to extend the due diligence period for 30 days. We would need to deposit an additional $2,500 of earnest money. All that earnest money would be applicable to the purchase price at closing. Once the due diligence period expires, we would then have, assuming that we don't terminate, we would have 30 days thereafter to close on the purchase. As you know, there's currently an H&R Block there. They're under their final term of their lease, so they had a lease that was in place. They had an extension option to exercise that they exercised last year to extend it an additional 3 years. So it will expire April 30th of 2025, I believe. This property will continue to cash flow under that lease for that period of time, allowing some time for the Redevelopment Commission to decide, how they'd like to utilize the land going forward. So, it will be a cash flowing asset for that period of time, while you have those discussions. So tonight, the resolution that is before you is approving the acquisition under the terms that are in the letter of intent. I've also included with this the form of purchase and sale agreement. There's one change that I think we're going to make to it in talking with the seller's broker earlier today, to just make it clear where it's discussing the earnest money, that the earnest money, once the due diligence period expires, it will be non-refundable, except in the event of say, a seller default, or some other circumstance that's explicitly set forth in the agreement where the purchaser would be able to get a refund of that deposit. But overall, we would consider that, non-refundable, with the exception of a default. So we're going to add that in just to make sure that that's clear in there, per the request. I haven't gotten any additional comments on it yet, but what we'd like to do is get approval of this purchase and sale agreement in substantially the form that it's in. I don't anticipate any material changes to it. The core terms are reflected in the letter of intent that is in the packet tonight. If you have any questions, I know I believe Jill circulated it out. I'm happy to answer any of those.
I have a question. Does the resolution take care of all of what you just requested that they do, or do they need to make a separate motion to allow for the approval of the purchase?
The resolution encompasses both. So
Okay.
the resolution, it approves the acquisition on the terms that are set forth in the letter of intent, and it approves the substantial form of the purchase and sale agreement, and authorizes the president of the commission to finalize that and execute it once it's been approved by the seller.
And as part of that, I would assume that that would authorize the commission or me or you to then order title work and do whatever we need, just to make sure you guys know what we have to do to move forward, to do that due diligence and,
Yes,
and authorize those expenses related to that.
correct.
Okay. Great.
I'll ask if there's a motion to approve the resolution 2023 R5.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any further discussion?
Thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all.
I'll ask for a vote to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, now moving on to new business. Is there any further discussion anybody has tonight? No further discussion. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 5th, 2023.
Make a motion to adjourn.
That was fast. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Since we're out of the meeting, since I congratulated you, I didn't see Chuck back there.